Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nolita Chabane. If you are new to my channel, a very special welcome to you. So in today's video, we will be chatting about what to do after completing your matric. So we'll be chatting about what options you have. You know, it's an exciting time. You're finally done with your 12 years of schooling. Uni, here we come, college, tertiary, whatever your choice will be, we will be breaking it down, just chatting about those options. You basically really have two options once you complete your matric. That is to study further, to go do your tertiary studies, or to take a gap year. Now, if you are deciding that you want to proceed and study, there are different options. So you could go to university, you know, your traditional universities. You could decide to go to a university of technology. You could decide to go to an FET college. Or you could decide that you want to do online studies. That's your distance learning, like with institutions like UNISA. Or you could do any online course like with your Udemy's, your Coursera. There's different institutions that offer different options out there. Now, if you decide that you're going to take a gap year, you could take a gap year. Maybe it's because you don't know what you want to do, and it's okay to take some time to just figure out what it is that you want to do with your life. And don't feel the pressure that, you know, all your friends are all going ahead, going into university, excited to be studying this new chapter in their life. It's okay to just sit back and take some time to really look into who you are, what you enjoy, and ultimately then make that choice in terms of the career that you want to go into. Now, if you decide to take a gap year, you could do some volunteering work, which will really build up your experience in your CV, and, you know, that should work in your favor once you start looking for job opportunities. Another option is to offer some services as an au pair. You could offer services helping school-going children with homework just to make some money, or some that are privileged, you could take the time to just travel, which is also an experience that will open up your ability to just navigate life and, you know, the challenges that it presents. Does everybody study after matric? No. Now, for some of you, you might have decided that, you know what, I want to be an entrepreneur. And so you could then just proceed after matric, go ahead and start up your own business, register that, and, you know, start offering whatever service that it is that you want to offer. Now, that is an option. So we need to step away from the traditional expectations in terms of what people should do once they finish with their schooling. Now, other people might go into the non-traditional careers, or go into social media influencing. You might just think that's it for you, that you've identified your niche and that you are going to then focus on making money, you know, being an influencer or just being in the social media space. So these are brilliant options. The world is changing, technology is at our disposal, and, you know, there is just no limits in terms of what you can do with technology. Next, I'm just going to break all the different options that I've already mentioned. I'm going to just break them down. First, we'll start with university studies. Now, if you go to a university, it's a lot of theoretical work. So in terms of fees for university, you would pay, quite a large amount of money. Obviously, you would need to check out how much the cost will be for you to decide. Also, in terms of whether you will be a day scholar or if you will stay in res, which will then be some additional funds. So it's a decision really that you sit as a family and then decide what the best option will be. So you might decide to, you know, go to a university that's close to where you are from, or you could go all the way like some of us did, where I went all the way from the Eastern Cape and I went to study at the University of the Western Cape, which was really a very nice experience of independence, just learning to stand on my own. Next, I'm going to just talk about studies at a University of Technology. So there's a lot of practical work, which I think is nice in terms of what you study. Now, if you decide to study at an FET college, you will also get quite a bit of practical exposure in terms of the line of studying that you are in, which I think is nice. So it's more similar to what you would get at the University of Technology, but in terms of fees, it would be much more affordable than what you would get at a University of Technology. I forgot to mention earlier, in terms of fees for a University of Technology, you would expect to pay more or less what you would pay at a traditional university. What I like about FET colleges is that if you study in an FET college, you will finish with the highest qualification. There is an N6 qualification, which is an NQF level 5. Now, an NQF level topic is a different topic altogether, but then you will qualify with an NQF 5 qualification. The other option is that you could go to a private college that offers mostly qualifications that are similar to what you would get at an FET college, but then in addition to that, there would be other courses that they would offer. Now, there's also another option of doing a learnership. Now, I love what learnership offers. The learnership is where you would go to a company where you're getting the practical experience, and then you've got some block weeks where you are going to an institution where you will get the learning part. So you're doing two things at once, where you are getting the practical experience at the company, and you will then at the end get certification. I think that that's the most brilliant thing, that you do those things at once, and this you do after completing matric. Now, this is an option that is very important to consider if there's a little bit of funds not being available, in terms of maybe your parents or whoever is your guardian that's responsible for your learning or your studies, in terms of them being able to help you to pay for the fees. So you'd get a little bit of a stipend just to assist you in terms of transport money or lunch money. It's not a lot that you would get, but I mean, to get a qualification experience which will really put you at a better place in order for you to secure employment after you complete the learnership, I think that is a brilliant option. So if funds are an issue for you, that's an option that you should consider. Now, a little bit more information about your FET college or TVET colleges is that you are actually able to transition from your traditional schooling to an FET college. So you can then transition and go to, if maybe you are somebody that likes working with their hands, for that practical element of your learning, you can go and enroll at an FET college as early as when you finish your grade 9, and that will then give you that practical aspect of your learning. You will qualify with an equivalent of matric, which is the NQF 4. Once you reach NQF 4 level, the NQF 4 is then equivalent to your matric certificate. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there is also institutions that offer online learning or distance learning, where you don't have to attend classes. You can study it on your own. Obviously, you need a lot of discipline for you to be able to keep up with your academic work and study on your own. Also, there's other online, providers that you can research on. But, there's different ways that one can go ahead with their studies without having to attend classes. UNISA is a university, obviously, but in terms of fees, as compared to other traditional universities, it's much more affordable, because obviously you don't have to attend classes. Majority of their courses or their offerings, you don't need to attend classes. That would be a much more affordable option than your traditional universities. Now, I do realize that not everyone will have funds to proceed to tertiary. Now, you can consider then taking up some free online courses with institutions that offer those. So there are options that, exciting options. I get excited that, there's institutions that offer free online courses. I'll just name a few. There's Udemy, which I've also used. There's Coursera. So these are institutions that have people, subject matter experts. Some of them are actually, you know, lecturers, or they teach in colleges where they would put together content and then they will offer that. There's a number of areas of learning that you could, you know, enroll for on these online, on these free online courses. You can decide you want to go into graphic designing, where you would, you know, research obviously in terms of what skills would be required if you wanted to go into a certain career. And, you know, you can take up a number of courses just to build up that, you know, portfolio or those skills. There's, you know, there's a whole lot. Some of them will offer certification once you've completed, but with some you're going to have to to pay that little bit, but the amounts that you pay also vary, so you will get to pick and choose really what you feel is best for you. I'm hoping that a lot of you will have smartphones where you can use your data, your internet, to do something constructive with your life, instead of, you know, posing for the gram and checking out photos. Use it to empower yourself, use it to, you know, to learn and to get that certification, and put yourself at a very good position where you will hopefully land that job that you are eyeing. But hopefully you will get to organize some internet connectivity, because that you will need. But at least that's all that you will pay for. You can get to you know, get certification without having to pay, like, you know, expensive fees. You can obviously do a bit of your own research in terms of the options that I've shared. I hope this video has helped you, and that if you were a little bit, you know, unsure as to what options you have post you completing your matric, that you now have a little bit of an idea, and that you will then expand on that, further research on what you think you want to do. So we've come to the end of the video. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a massive thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, put on the notification bell so that you don't miss out when I send out the next video. Much love, everyone. See you next time.